Hey, what is going on, everyone? I hope that you all are doing well out there today. So, it is a new year. It is actually 2023 already. And I just wanted to talk about some wealth building strategies, some things that you can do to ensure that you are progressing towards your goals during this new year. The new year is actually a great time to start any plan that you have always wanted to start. I think that it's always good to get a head start, and it's always a good idea to start during the new year. It's always the opportunity to start fresh and start over and forgive yourself for any mistakes you may have previously made. So it's the new year, and these are some tips I just wanted to give you all to help to guide you towards financial freedom and financial stability in 2023. So first, let's talk about, the first thing you need to do. And I would say that you need to know where you stand. Know where you stand. What does that mean? Well, that simply means that you get a pen and pad. If you are by yourself, if you are married, you need to get it done either way. If you're single, you can do it with an accountability partner, somebody who you know is going to hold you accountable, somebody who you are going to hold accountable as well. Sit down with that individual and just list everything regarding your financial life. List all of your debts, your liabilities, list all of your assets, list all of your monthly recurring bills, list anything that you may have coming up. You want to write down everything. You want to be transparent. You want to be able to see it visually. Think about it. When you keep things in your head and you don't see it written down, those things could be all over the place. You can think that you're spending $115 a month on gas, but you might be spending $180 a month on gas. You may think that you are spending $80 a month on streaming services, but you might be spending $125 a month on streaming services. So it's important that you actually get out that pen and that pad with your spouse or your accountability partner and list everything. Like I said, assets, liabilities, recurring bills, list them all. Anything that's going to impact your financial situation, you need to write it down. Okay? So that's the very first thing you need to do. The next thing I would personally recommend is to do a net worth statement. So your net worth statement is going to be taking all of your assets, listing it on the top of your paper, on the left of your paper, and then listing all of your liabilities underneath or to the side of your assets. And then you just simply subtract your liabilities from your assets. Your net worth is simply assets, what you own, minus liabilities, what you owe. Now, some people have varying, things that they may include in their net worth statement. I put everything I own except for personal belongings and things like that. I don't put, I'm not a big jewelry guy. Some people do put their jewelry down, but it's really up to you. It's custom. If you were to get in a bind, if you needed to liquidate everything that you own and move out of town or whatever you have to do, that's what your assets are. So I don't own any jewelry. I might have an Invicta watch or whatever here or there, but for the most part, I don't include any of that in my assets. All I include are all my retirement accounts, brokerage accounts, health savings account, Roth IRA, pension. I even include my cars. Some people don't include their vehicles, but I do, because if I needed to sell them, I could sell them. And you just put the value of your vehicles there. And also, obviously, if you are a homeowner, you put the value of your home. And of course, this is an estimate, because really a home is only worth what somebody is willing to pay for it, but you're just putting an estimate down. And of course, you got to list the mortgage that's attached to that home as well. Any car payments, any remaining balance on vehicles, you need to put that down in the liability category. And any other debt, student loans, any of that kind of thing, credit cards, personal loans, you put that down in the liability category, then you subtract it and you see what what your net worth is. Please do not be alarmed if your net worth says negative. If you have a negative $100,000 net worth or a negative $10,000 net worth, don't be alarmed, because most people have a negative net worth. My family and I once had a very negative net worth, and we were able to climb out of that hole. But let me tell you, the only way to climb out of that negative net worth hole is by knowing where you stand. And that includes becoming familiar with your situation, and which is step one of what I talked about, writing everything down, your whole situation, and then doing your net worth statement. And then you need to budget. So once you have, written down all your, bills and liabilities, assets, all of that kind of thing, and you've done that net worth statement, then you need to really do a realistic budget based off of what you previously have written down. Guys, if you are married with 10 kids, please do not put down a $200 grocery bill. Like, that's unrealistic. You need to be realistic. And as a matter of fact, I would say give yourself a little bit of wiggle room, and highball it. So if you think you spend $800 a month on groceries, just put $1,000 so you can give yourself some wiggle room, and so you can give yourself a little bit of grace if you went over that $800, as opposed to saying I'm gonna spend $800 then spending $900 and being disappointed, and that just totally throwing your budget off. And now you say I'm gonna spend $800, you spend $900, but you budgeted $1,000. So now you have $100 extra that you could throw towards debt or towards retirement. Okay? Write everything down, do a net worth statement, and budget. And you need to understand that budgets are not, they're gonna change. They're not constant. You need to have a general budget, and then you need to be able to course correct as you go along. Those things change all the time. Things come up, and sometimes they're out of your control. Now, I believe that it's important to ensure that you have an emergency fund. And the emergency fund can consist of 3 to 6 months. That's pretty average. If you have a more secure job, you can stay closer to the 3-month emergency fund. If you have a commission-based job, or if you and your spouse have jobs where you aren't as stable, then you can err on the side of caution and probably look more towards the 6-month range. But I do agree with the whole Dave Ramsey plan that you can start out with that $1,000, because $1,000 really does catch a lot of those really small emergencies that come up. Imagine you go full steam and you're working on getting out of debt, and you don't have an emergency fund. You don't even have $1,000, and then you have a tire that blows out, or you have to replace all 4 tires, and those 4 tires are $650, and you don't have anything in emergency fund. So now you have to go out and apply for a Tires Plus credit card or a discount tire credit card, and you're right back in that mini hole. So I just think it's good to be proactive and try to get that $1,000. And we all know that personal finance is personal. So if $1,000 isn't good enough for you, hey, up it to $2,500 or $5,000. This needs to be a fund that's going to provide peace of mind to you. So if whatever that amount has to be in order for you to comfortably do the rest of your journey and complete the rest of your journey, then so be it. If you don't feel you can do it without less than $10,000, then do $10,000. But ultimately, you need to have an emergency fund, even a baby emergency fund that is comfortable to you, that makes you sleep at night. Once you have that emergency fund established, and you have done your budget and those kind of things, and actually I probably should have said this a little earlier, but you need to work on writing out a debt snowball, a debt avalanche. that coincides with your budget. Like though that your debt payoff plan needs to be included in your budget, you know. Now, it could be a debt avalanche, it could be a debt snowball. Debt snowball is basically where you list all of your debts and you pay them off from smallest balance to the largest balance. And each month, or each time you pay off the smaller loan, you apply that payment to the next smallest loan and so forth. The avalanche is similar. However, you are listing things from the highest interest rate to the lowest interest rate and paying it off in that manner. I believe that you should do a combination of both things. You have to pay off whatever you feel is most important at that time. If you feel it is a $200 payment, you know, cool. Just do whatever you feel needs to be done, but just make sure you have an allotted amount of money each month that you can dedicate towards your debt payoff, regardless of snowball or avalanche. You know, and that's basically the plan that I would recommend for the year. Now, obviously, you want to do some kind of will, a living will, and will, power of attorney, those kind of things as well. I think that, you know, once you sit down and you do your plan, that needs to be included. But I'm speaking specifically of your financial goals. And just to recap, for the year, I believe that you should know where you stand. Don't go into the year blindly. Know where you stand. Do a net worth statement so that at the end of the year, you can look back and actually see your success instead of guessing on how successful you were. You do your net worth statement, you do a budget, you do a debt payoff plan, and that's how you gauge your year. Now, I'm not going to get all into retirement and things like that right now because I understand, you know, most people are at a point where they're trying to get out of debt. But I will say this, I'm not a one size fits all kind of guy. I do think that you should be investing in a company plan up to the match before you do anything else, unless it's a situation where your debts cannot be covered by the amount of net pay you're bringing home and you are investing in a 401k or 403b. And if you could get rid of that payment, even if you're getting a match, and that will allow you to pay off your debt or even catch up, then of course I would tell you not to invest. You know, that goes strictly against Dave Ramsey. He just wants you to focus 100% on getting out of debt. And, you know, I have a different belief. Personal finance is personal once again. So, but that's basically the gist of the plan for the year, is to have a plan, create a plan. And I would love to hear your feedback. I would love to see how you're doing. Let me say this. I have an internet friend from California. She reached out to me yesterday and was just asking me some questions. And she told me that she showed me her plan. And I thought, man, this is phenomenal. Like, you are going to be a millionaire before you know it. Like, just with the plan, just knowing where you stand and having everything meticulously put together. And I was very proud of her. That's what you need to do. That's the only way we could be successful. You know, you need that roadmap. You need to create the roadmap. And always remember, I think the most important part of any financial journey is to give yourself some grace. Give yourself some grace, you know. Allow yourself the opportunity to fall off sometimes without beating yourself up. Just know that that is part of the journey, and know that you are continuing to progress, and also understand that at the end of the day, when all is said and done, when you look back on your 2023, you know that you had a successful year because your numbers show it. All right, get out of debt, create a plan, and then we can work on building generational wealth. All right, appreciate you guys for tuning in. If y'all have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Please, if you have not had the opportunity to subscribe to the channel, I would really appreciate it. You can smash that like button, do whatever else you need to do to support the channel, but I appreciate you guys, all right? Y'all take it easy, all right?